There are things in this world that seem harmless to give away. They do not cost money, they do not leave your hands empty, and often, people will even praise you for offering them so freely. They will call you kind, generous, open, even noble. But beneath that surface lies a truth most people never question. Some things, once given, do not simply leave your possession, they take a part of you with them. The Stoics understood this deeply. They lived in times of war, betrayal, uncertainty, and collapse. And through all of it, they discovered that a man is rarely destroyed by external forces alone. He is destroyed the moment he begins surrendering what should never be surrendered. In today's world, the pressure is constant. You are told to be more available, more expressive, more tolerant, more forgiving, more understanding. You are encouraged to open every door of your inner world and let people walk in freely, as if having no boundaries is a sign of strength. But a man without boundaries is not at peace. He's exposed. He is not strong, he is slowly being consumed. Discipline is not only about what you choose to do, it is equally about what you refuse to give away. And if you fail to understand that, life will slowly drain you while convincing you that you are doing the right thing. The first thing you must never give people is your peace of mind, because peace is not something you casually possess. It is something you build with intention, through control, through restraint, through learning how to remain steady in a world that constantly tries to provoke you. Your peace is your inner fortress, the one place where clarity lives, where decisions are made without chaos, where you remain grounded no matter what happens outside of you. But people will test this. They will come into your life carrying their problems, their frustrations, their emotional storms, and without hesitation, they will expect you to carry a portion of that weight. At first, it feels right to help. It makes you feel valuable, needed, important. You tell yourself that this is what good people do. But over time, something begins to shift. You notice that their stress becomes your stress. Their problems follow you even after the conversation ends, and their chaos begins to echo inside your own mind. You lose sleep thinking about situations you cannot control. You replay conversations that were never yours to carry, and slowly, your calm begins to fade. This is how peace is lost, not in a single moment, but in small, repeated acts of emotional surrender. A disciplined man understands the difference between empathy and absorption. He knows how to listen without taking ownership, how to care without collapsing, how to offer support without sacrificing his own stability. Because the moment you allow someone else's emotions to control your internal state, you hand over the authority of your life. And a man who does not control his internal world cannot control his external one. Imagine your mind as a calm, still lake, clear enough to reflect reality as it is. Now imagine allowing every person you encounter to throw stones into it. At first, the ripples seem small, manageable, but over time, the surface becomes disturbed, restless, unclear. You can no longer see straight, no longer think clearly, no longer respond with intention. This is what happens when you give your peace away too easily. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is necessary. It is the foundation of every decision you make, every action you take, every relationship you maintain. Without it, you are reactive instead of intentional, drained instead of focused, lost instead of grounded. Your peace is your power, and most people give it away without even realizing it. The second thing you must never give people is your time to prove yourself, because there is a quiet trap that many fall into without noticing. It feels like responsibility, like maturity, like doing the right thing, but in reality, it is rooted in doubt. You begin explaining your choices, justifying your actions, defending your character, trying to make others understand who you are and why you do what you do. You think that if you just explain it well enough, if you just say the right words, people will finally see you clearly. But the truth is, the more you try to prove yourself, the less powerful you become, because you are no longer operating from certainty, you are operating from the need to be validated. You are seeking permission to exist as you are. Most people are not paying as much attention to you as you think. They are focused on their own lives, their own struggles, their own perceptions. And those who judge you often do so from a place that has little to do with you at all. Their opinions are shaped by their experiences. their insecurities, their limited understanding. So every time you try to defend yourself against that, you are wasting energy on something you cannot control. A disciplined man does not perform for an invisible audience. He does not interrupt his path to explain every decision he makes. He understands that who he is will be revealed through what he consistently does, not through what he repeatedly says. If someone misunderstands him, he allows it. If someone doubts him, he allows it. If someone speaks against him, he allows it. Not because he is weak, but because he is grounded enough to know that truth does not require constant defense. Over time, actions speak louder than words, and consistency speaks louder than both. There is a quiet strength in choosing silence over unnecessary explanation, in walking away from conversations that only exist to challenge your identity, in refusing to argue for your own existence. When you stop trying to prove yourself, you reclaim your time, your energy, and your focus. You move forward without distraction, without the need for validation, without the constant weight of other people's opinions. And in that space, your presence becomes stronger, more certain, more undeniable. Right now, as you are listening, you may feel something shifting inside you, a realization forming, a quiet awareness that perhaps you have been giving too much of yourself away. If that feeling is there, hold on to it, because awareness is the beginning of control. Subscribe this channel, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear this, because sometimes one idea, one realization is enough to change the direction of a life. And ask yourself honestly, what have you been trying to prove, and to whom? Because the answer to that question reveals where your energy has been going. The third thing you must never give people is your self-respect in exchange for acceptance, because this is where many lose themselves completely. The desire to belong is deeply rooted within you. It once meant survival, protection, connection, but in the modern world, that instinct often leads you into compromise. You begin to adjust yourself to fit into spaces that do not value you. You soften your opinions, you hide your thoughts, you agree when you should question, you remain silent when you should speak. You tolerate behavior that goes against your values simply because you do not want to be excluded. And over time, this constant adjustment begins to erase parts of who you are. You become easier to accept, but harder to recognize. You are no longer living as yourself, but as a version designed to be approved by others. And the more you do this, the more disconnected you feel from your own identity. A disciplined man refuses this trade. He understands that acceptance gained through self-betrayal is not real acceptance, because people are not accepting him, they are accepting the version of him that he created to satisfy them. And that kind of acceptance is fragile, because it disappears the moment you stop performing. True strength lies in standing firm in who you are, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it isolates you, even when it costs you approval. Because standing alone with integrity is far more powerful than standing in a crowd while feeling like a stranger to yourself. Self-respect is built through alignment, through acting in accordance with your values, through refusing to compromise your identity for temporary comfort. Every time you go against yourself, you weaken that foundation, and over time, you begin to lose trust in your own decisions. But when you stand firm, when you remain consistent, when you choose truth over approval, you build something solid within you. You become grounded, stable, unshakable. And even if fewer people surround you, the ones who remain will respect you in a way that surface-level acceptance never could. Because authenticity carries a weight that cannot be faked. So be careful what you trade, because every time you exchange your self-respect for acceptance, you are paying with something that is not easily restored. There is a subtle danger that hides behind the idea of being a good person, and it often reveals itself in the way you handle forgiveness, because the fourth thing you must never give people is your forgiveness too easily. Not because forgiveness is wrong, but because when it is given without awareness, it becomes permission for repetition. Many people are taught that forgiveness is a moral obligation, something you must offer immediately, completely, and without condition, as if withholding it makes you bitter or weak. But the Stoics understood a deeper truth, that forgiveness is not about erasing memory or restoring trust blindly. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of resentment while still seeing reality clearly. There is a difference between releasing anger and reopening the door to someone who has already shown you who they are, yet most people confuse the two, and in doing so, they place themselves back into situations that continue to harm them. Think about how often people apologize not because they have changed, but because they want access again, because they want things to return to how they were without doing the work required to deserve that position in your life. Words are easy, change is difficult, and time is the only thing that reveals whether someone is truly different. A disciplined man understands that forgiveness is internal, but trust is external, and the two should never be confused. You can let go of anger without letting someone back into your life at the same level they once occupied. You can wish them well without giving them the opportunity to hurt you again, and you can move forward without carrying bitterness while still maintaining distance. But when you forgive too quickly, when you ignore patterns, when you accept apologies without observing change, you teach people something dangerous. You teach them that your boundaries are flexible, that your standards can be lowered, that your tolerance has no real consequence. And once people learn that, they will act accordingly, not always out of malice, but out of human nature, because people often repeat what they are allowed to repeat. This is why boundaries matter, not as a form of punishment toward others, but as a form of protection for yourself. When someone crosses a line, the response should not only be emotional, it should be structural, meaning something in your behavior, your access, or your relationship with that person must change. Otherwise, nothing truly changes at all. Forgiveness without adjustment is simply a cycle waiting to repeat itself. A strong man does not carry hatred, but he also does not ignore reality. He observes, he learns, and he adapts. He understands that protecting his peace sometimes requires creating distance, not because he lacks compassion, but because he values his stability more than temporary comfort. There is no strength in allowing yourself to be hurt repeatedly under the disguise of kindness. There is no wisdom in pretending not to see patterns that are clearly present, and there is no growth in staying in cycles that continuously drain you. True forgiveness is quiet, it is internal. It frees you from emotional burden, but it does not blind you. It sharpens your awareness and strengthens your boundaries. And when you begin to practice it this way, something changes within you. You no longer feel the need to hold on to anger, but you also no longer feel obligated to give people unlimited chances. You begin to move with clarity instead of confusion, with intention instead of habit, and with self-respect instead of self-sacrifice. Now, as you reflect on this, you may start to recognize moments in your life where you forgave too easily, where you reopened doors that should have remained closed, where you trusted words without waiting for actions to confirm them. And that awareness is not something to regret, it is something to learn from, because every experience like that sharpens your understanding of what you will and will not tolerate moving forward. And as this understanding deepens, you begin to realize that forgiveness is not something you give to others freely, it is something you grant yourself first, the freedom to move on without carrying the weight of what has already happened. The fifth and final thing you must never give people is your loyalty to those who do not deserve it, because loyalty is one of the most powerful traits a person can possess, but when it is placed in the wrong hands, it becomes a source of self-destruction. Loyalty is often praised without question, as if remaining committed no matter the circumstances is always a virtue. But the Stoics saw loyalty differently. They understood that loyalty should be directed toward principles, toward virtue, toward what is right, not blindly toward individuals who act in opposition to those values. There is a difference between standing by someone during difficult times and staying attached to someone who consistently disrespects you, uses you, or takes advantage of your presence. And many people fail to recognize that difference until they have already invested too much of themselves. You tell yourself that history matters, that time spent together should mean something, that loyalty requires endurance. But in reality, loyalty without discernment is not strength, it is attachment. It is holding onto something that no longer aligns with who you are, simply because it once did. And the longer you hold on to it, the more it drains you, the more it limits your growth, the more it keeps you tied to a version of your life that you have already outgrown. A disciplined man understands that loyalty is earned through consistency, through respect, through shared values, not through proximity or familiarity. He does not remain loyal out of guilt, obligation, or fear of letting go. He remains loyal because the person has proven, through their actions, that they deserve that position in his life. And when that proof no longer exists, when the respect is gone, when the behavior no longer aligns, he does not hesitate to create distance. Not out of anger, not out of resentment, but out of clarity. Because staying in a place where you are not valued is not loyalty, it is self-neglect. There is no honor in remaining on a sinking ship simply because you have been on it for a long time, especially when the damage is not accidental, but intentional. At some point, you have to recognize that walking away is not betrayal, it is self-preservation. And this is one of the hardest lessons for most people to accept, because it requires you to let go not only of others, but of the version of yourself that was connected to them. It requires you to face the discomfort of change, the uncertainty of new beginnings, the silence that comes after separation. But within that silence, there is space. Space to rebuild, space to grow, space to reconnect with yourself without the constant influence of those who are holding you back. Loyalty, when placed correctly, becomes a source of strength. It builds deep, meaningful connections. It creates trust. It reinforces stability. But when placed incorrectly, it becomes a chain, something that restricts you, something that keeps you from moving forward. And the responsibility of deciding where your loyalty goes rests entirely with you. As you begin to understand these principles more deeply, something within you starts to shift. You become more aware of what you allow, more intentional with what you give, more protective of what matters. You begin to see that your peace, your time, your self-respect, your forgiveness, and your loyalty are not small, insignificant things. They are the foundation of your entire life. And every time you give them away without thought, you weaken that foundation. But every time you protect them, every time you set a boundary, every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen it. You become more stable, more grounded, more in control. And control, not over others, but over yourself, is where true power lies. When you begin to truly understand these 5 principles, something changes in the way you move through the world, because you no longer see yourself as someone who must constantly give, explain, tolerate, and endure, but as someone who chooses carefully, who protects intentionally, and who lives with a quiet authority that does not need validation. Most people spend their lives reacting, adjusting themselves to fit expectations, handing pieces of their identity to anyone who demands it loudly enough. And in the process, they lose the very thing they are trying to protect, their sense of self. But a disciplined man operates differently. He understands that life is not about being everything to everyone. It is about being aligned with what is right within himself, even if that means disappointing others, even if that means standing alone at times, even if that means being misunderstood. Because in the end, misunderstanding from others is far less damaging than disconnection from yourself. When you guard your peace, you are not becoming distant, you are becoming stable. You are creating a mental environment where clarity can exist, where decisions are made with intention rather than impulse, where you are no longer controlled by every external situation that tries to disturb you. When you stop trying to prove yourself, you are not becoming arrogant, you are becoming certain. You are removing the need for approval and replacing it with quiet confidence. The kind that does not speak loudly but is felt through consistent action. When you protect your self-respect, you are not isolating yourself. You are defining yourself. You are choosing integrity over comfort, truth over convenience, and authenticity over acceptance. When you become mindful of your forgiveness, you are not becoming unforgiving. You are becoming aware. You are understanding that your emotional freedom does not require you to forget what has been shown to you, and that real growth comes from learning, not repeating. And when you become selective with your loyalty, you are not becoming disloyal. You are becoming wise. You are recognizing that your energy is limited and that it should be invested in those who respect it, not those who take it for granted. These shifts may seem small at first, almost unnoticeable, but over time they reshape your entire life, because the quality of your life is directly tied to the quality of what you allow. Every boundary you set is a form of self-respect. Every time you walk away from something that no longer serves you is a form of strength. Every moment you choose discipline over comfort is a step toward control. And control, not over people, not over outcomes, but over your own mind, your own actions, your own direction, is the highest form of power you can achieve. The Stoics did not seek to control the world. They sought to control themselves, because they understood that everything else is uncertain, everything else is temporary, everything else is outside of their command. But the way they responded, the way they thought, the way they chose to live, that was theirs. And that is what made them unshakable. In your own life, you will face moments where it feels easier to give in, to explain, to tolerate, to forgive without thought, to stay loyal out of habit. And in those moments, you must remember what is at stake, because every small decision shapes the direction of your life. You are either building yourself or slowly breaking yourself. There is no neutral ground. And the truth is, most people do not realize they are breaking themselves until they feel completely lost, until they no longer recognize who they have become, until they feel drained, resentful, disconnected. But you do not have to reach that point. You can choose differently, starting now, starting with awareness, starting with one decision at a time. Protect your peace, even if it means stepping back from people who thrive on chaos. Protect your time, even if it means allowing others to misunderstand you. Protect your self-respect, even if it means standing alone. Protect your forgiveness, even if it means closing doors that once felt familiar. Protect your loyalty, even if it means letting go of what you once held on to tightly. Because in doing so, you are not losing anything of value, you are removing what was never aligned with your growth in the first place. And as you remove those things, you create space. Space for clarity, space for strength, space for a life that is built on intention rather than reaction. This is what it means to live with discipline. This is what it means to live with purpose. This is what it means to truly own yourself in a world that constantly tries to shape you into something else. If this message has resonated with you, if you feel that shift in your thinking, that quiet sense of control beginning to take form, then subscribe this channel, like this video, and share it with someone who is still giving away what should be protected, because sometimes a single realization can change the entire course of a life. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to surround yourself with people who are committed to this way of thinking, to this discipline, to this mindset, then join our membership. There is the link in the description, where you will find exclusive content designed to strengthen your mind and sharpen your perspective. Stay disciplined, stay grounded, and remember this above all else: the world will always ask for more than it deserves, but it is your responsibility to decide what you will no longer give.